Okay guys, today we are learning factoring by grouping. I'm just going to do 3 quick examples. So our first part with factoring by grouping, when it has 4 terms, we're going to split it up into 2 parts. The first part and the second part. And when you look at these 2 parts, you're going to look to see what they have in common, your GCF. So we've done this before, 12a cubed minus 9a squared. Or I make you guys do your whole flow chart too. Our factor tree, 6, 2, 3, and then you have a minus, and then 9 goes to 3 and 3. We see what's in common between all of them. We know we have an a in common, and we have a 3 in common and 2 a's. We have a 3 in common and 2 a's. So my 3a squared comes out. What's left behind is 2 times 2, which is 4, minus a, or 4 times a, sorry, minus 3. Okay, and then over here we see what's in common with our second half. 4a minus 3. Well, 4 goes to 2 and 2. 3 goes to 3 and 1. Whew, that was a close one. We see there's nothing in common, so we leave it as plus, and I'm going to put it in these parentheses, 4a minus 3. The name factor by grouping comes from the fact that now that you've factored stuff out, you are left with something in common between both parts. So the first part's being multiplied and the second part's being multiplied. But of both of these, you see that, let's change my color, this portion is in both of them. So once again, we can factor that out. So when I take that out of the first part, you have here 3a squared and 4a minus 3. And over here, you have 1 times 4a minus 3. So if you take out 4a minus 3, take that out of both of them, here and here, what's left is that 3a plus 1. And the way we account for that is we put another parenthesis, 3a squared plus 1. And this is my final answer. So I know those steps can be a little confusing. Let's try it again. So again, we're going to break this up into 2 parts. So here you have your first part and your second part. So we have 2p to the third plus 5p squared. We know 2 and 5 have nothing in common. They're both prime numbers. But here we have 2p plus 5pp. You see what's in common is our p's. We have 2 p's in each of them. So we can take out p squared, and we're left with 2p plus 5. Okay, and then on the other side, I have 6p plus 15. We know there's no p's to take out, but what we can see is that 15 goes down, or 6 goes to 2 and 3, and 15 goes to 3 and 5. And that does have something in common. Both of them have a 3. So we can factor out a 3. And then what doesn't have a buddy stays locked up. So here we have a 2 and a p, so 2p, and then we have 5. So once again, you have 2 terms that have this nice little plus sign in between it. And inside each of these, you have something in common. So by doing that factoring, you've now created a group or another factor that's the same in both of them. We can factor that out. So we can rewrite that out front. 2p plus 5. Okay, so that's gone here. That leaves me with p squared plus, this goes away, 3. That's what's left over. So this is my factored by grouping of that polynomial. And then let's try our last one here. We have 3n cubed minus 4n squared. So 3n cubed minus 4n squared. This goes to 2 and 2. 3n n minus 2 and 2 n. We look to see what we have in common. Here we have 2 n's in common in each of them. That comes out. N squared. What doesn't have common stays inside. 3n minus 2 times 2, which is 4. Okay, so we have that part. And then over here we have the 9n minus 12. There's no n's in both of them, so we're only worried about factoring the first part, so 3 and 3, and this one goes to 4 and 3, 2 and 2. We see what's in common is a 3 in both of them. So the 3 comes out. What doesn't have a buddy stays locked up. So in this case, that is the 3 plus, ooh, that's close, 3n. The n doesn't have a buddy, minus 4. Once again, by factoring by grouping, you see you have created something that's in common in both of them. So we're going to write that out front. So 3n minus 4. And then what's left over in the first one? Well, that's that n squared plus, and then what's left over in the second one is just the 3. And this is our factor by grouping. Okay, please try those homework problems.